they might actually join forces with Ratcliffe and start doing something good for the club. But that was too good to be true, wasn't it? I mean, we didn't even last 24 hours before this news has hit the headlines, and it's £600 million that are going straight to the Glazers without it even coming into the club. I mean, if any other owner did this, we'd be up in arms. Every other club would be up in arms, but the Glazers were so used to this happening. Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. First of all, want to kick off the show by saying thank you to every single one of you who's been subscribing to this channel. It's been amazing. The growth of this channel has been insane, and it's all down to everyone out there who's been subscribing and smashing that like button on my videos and shows. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for your support. And if you're new to the Man United stream channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and become part of our lovely Man United community. Now we've got lots and lots to talk about in today's show. There's so much to cover. I'm not actually sure if we can actually cover it in one single show. In today's show, we're going to be talking about Jim Ratcliffe and the financials of his takeover. Who's getting what? What are the Glazers going to walk away with if this deal is completed for that 25% of United? The actual financial breakdown will shock you, let me tell you that much. Also in today's show, we're going to be discussing the real reason behind the sacking of Richard Arnold. Why did the Glazers and Ratcliffe sit down and get rid of Richard Arnold immediately? We'll tell you the real reason behind that, and then we'll discuss who is the possible replacement of Richard Arnold. We mentioned in yesterday's show that there is one person who's head of the line and is odds on to get this job. We'll tell you why and who that person is. Okay, so let's kick off today's show with the reports that Jim Ratcliffe will be paying 1.2 billion to 1.5 billion to take over that 25% of Man United. But the shocking news is that around 600 million will be pocketed immediately by the Glazer family. Yes, that money will not even be used to pay off any of the debts, not improve United, not do anything. This is absolutely shocking. And I mean, for whatever we fans have been calling the Glazers and saying all sorts of names, it's not enough. It's not enough, because we've seen the reality hit us so hard right now. And if this news is confirmed, it is like the final nail in the coffin. United are a club that could not even go out there this summer and pay around 21 million to sign Sofyan Amrabat. We had to take him on loan, and we've had to go and get other players on the cheap. We've had Johnny Evans come in on a loan because we couldn't go out there and get a new centre-back. And yet the Glazers take £600 million without it even coming into the club. They're going to take it and pocket it. This is the state of the Glazers. So if there was any doubt for anyone out there, any fans who might be having second thoughts on the Glazers, might be thinking that, oh, maybe, just maybe, the Glazers might have turned a new leaf with Ratcliffe coming in. They might actually join forces with Ratcliffe and start doing something good for the club. But that was too good to be true, wasn't it? I mean, we didn't even last 24 hours before this news has hit the headlines, and it's £600 million that are going straight to the Glazers without it even coming into the club. I mean, if any other owner did this, we'd be up in arms. Every other club would be up in arms, but the Glazers were so used to this happening. And it always comes back to the same thing, that the Glazers don't give a crap about the club. They don't care about United and Old Trafford falling apart, that the training facilities are not up to standard, and that they've been sat here for 18 years and done nothing, and they've not put a single penny of their personal money into United. Nothing. Absolutely zero. It is shocking. It is shocking, and there's no limit to these Glazers. We've seen this now. There is absolutely nothing that stops these guys from taking money out of United, and the fans could be up in arms. We could have all sorts of protests, but they do not care. They didn't even turn up to Sir Bobby Charlton's funeral. That's what these kind of people are like. They're the owners of Man United. And someone like Bobby Charlton, who was there ever present from the day they took over till his very last day, he was there helping United. And then you've got owners like the Glazers who did not even respect him as much as come to his funeral. That is everything we need to know about the Glazers. So if any fans are out there thinking just maybe the Glazers might do something good for the club, think again. This 25% takeover deal with Ratcliffe is a bizarre deal. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It just is funny. There's no other club where you'd see this kind of deal taking place. No one knows what game is being played and who is playing that game. Are the Glazers playing this game and doing over Ratcliffe, or is Ratcliffe a mastermind and is he playing the game and getting the Glazers to sell 25% and then coming in and going to take over the rest? I think it's the Glazers that are playing Ratcliffe. It's quite clear that over the last year, the Glazers have been playing a tune and Ratcliffe has been dancing to that tune. Whenever the Glazers have rejected an offer made by Ratcliffe, Ratcliffe keeps coming back, grovelling again and making sure that the Glazers give him something. And finally, after grovelling over a year, he came back and finally got 25% off the Glazers for a complete rip-off. Double, if not more, the price of the market value of United. That's what he is paying, or might be paying at the end of it. We actually don't know what the financials are, but most financial experts that we've spoke to have said that Ratcliffe will probably end up paying more than double what the value is of United. That is absolutely crazy. What is this guy thinking of? And the Glazers must be laughing their heads off in private. They must be loving it because they've got everything and more before they set off on this journey of strategic opportunities, finding a new investor of some kind. They did not imagine that some dude called Ratcliffe will walk in and give them £1.5 billion and just take over 25% of the club and then be happy with given some control over footballing decisions, which realistically we all know the Glazers don't care about anyway. So they don't care about footballing decisions. They don't care about anything that goes on the pitch. All they care about is the money and what earnings United are making. Even though that is the case, they've still got Joel Glazer overlooking Ratcliffe. He is an employee of United. In Ratcliffe, what we have is an employee of the Glazers. He reports to the Glazers and the Glazers sign off on everything that he does and does not do. That is it. That's what the deal is looking like. And if that is the case, that is not what we fans wanted from this takeover. It's been an awful time, and I really do hope that Ratcliffe can make a difference, and he does have something in there within the contracts that forces the Glazers to sell the rest of their shares. If he hasn't, then it's a complete and utter waste of time. We've been sat here for almost a year now hoping that someone's going to come in and rescue United and take over 100% of United and kick the Glazers out, but that didn't happen. And what we have instead is a lifeline for these Glazers, with Ratcliffe coming in and giving them what they want. I mean, let us know your thoughts on Ratcliffe. Let us know your thoughts on this deal. What do you think about £600 million being taken by the Glazers without any of it being invested in the club, without any of it even paying off the debt that is owed on the club? It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? These are the owners that we're having to deal with. And what would Ratcliffe be thinking? What would he be thinking right now if you've joined partnerships with these guys called the Glazers, and yet they're taking £600 million and taking it out of the club, and they are expecting you to put more money into the club to go out there and buy players and to go out there and fix the leaking roof of Old Trafford? It's absolutely bizarre. It's absolutely crazy. What is this deal about? We will get further information and let you know as soon as we can. So yesterday we got the breaking news that Richard Arnold, the CEO of Man United, was to be let go. We feel he was fired. A lot of people would agree that he was really fired. It wasn't a mutual decision. It wasn't where Richard Arnold said he wants to leave. It was more of the Glazers coming in and saying to Richard Arnold, thank you very much, but goodbye. And Ratcliffe had made that call as well, sat down with the Glazers, and they both decided that it was time for Richard Arnold to go. But why? Why have they got rid of Richard Arnold? Why is he the first casualty of this takeover? We knew already that there'll be lots of people at United worried about the job, even including Ten Hag and others on the board that might be worried about this takeover. And there was already rumours and reports that once a takeover by Ratcliffe is done, there'll be lots of big players at United that will lose their jobs. Richard Arnold being the first one of those. But why? Why was he the first person to lose his job? And it's not because what you might think, but that he's not been doing a good job, and that's why the Glazers have got rid of him with Ratcliffe. In fact, it's something to do with what happened when this deal was actually going through and it was being voted on at the board level. What we've heard from two sources now at United is that Richard Arnold voted against the takeover of Ratcliffe. Wow, now that is really, really interesting news. I'm sure we're going to get lots more information out on this, but Richard Arnold did not vote in favour of the proposed takeover by Ratcliffe. We've been told that the Glazers put the Ratcliffe offer to the board for approval, and surprise, surprise, Richard Arnold did not vote in favour, and I guess that was the end of his career at United. The Glazers saw that as an insult, saw that as a betrayal, and decided to get rid of him, and Ratcliffe clearly also has gone in line with that and said that he agrees with the removal of the CEO Richard Arnold. We're not quite sure who called the shot though. Now, most of us originally yesterday thought that this shot was fired by Ratcliffe. Before he arrived, he got rid of the CEO Richard Arnold, but now we're probably hearing that this was a mutual decision with the Glazers and Ratcliffe both agreeing that they will get rid of Richard Arnold. Now, who takes over after Richard Arnold leaves? There's one name that's been mentioned again and again, and in our show about a week ago we named this individual as the key person that will be coming into United, and there was lots of rumours and reports suggesting that he will be joining United, and it is Jean-Claude Blanc. He is a man with over 20 years of experience in sports. He has worked everywhere and anywhere. He started off in 1987 working in sports, and he has ever since been involved in sports. Blanc has worked for PSG and he's worked for Juventus, doing really good jobs with both clubs. He was well renowned, really well respected, and he comes with a huge reputation to be one of the best out there. So this is a huge appointment by the Ineos Group and Ratcliffe. They clearly want this guy and they will be getting him in. It is hands-on, bookies' favourite. This guy is coming in. Do not mention anybody else. It is only this guy, and he is going to be coming in to United to sort them out. It is a really exciting move. We all knew Richard Arnold was not a footballing person. He had no experience working with football clubs. He was brought in, he's an accountant, and the Glazers thought perfect match for them to come in as a CEO of United. The Glazers have made completely stupid moves like this all the way through their tenure at United. They are owners who have absolutely no clue, and they continue to have no clue at United. All they care about really is the financials. All they care about is taking money from the club, as we've already discussed. So they don't really care. It's Ratcliffe who's come in and decided that they need someone who actually knows football inside out, and Jean-Claude Blanc is one of those people in the world who knows everything about running football clubs and making a success from those football clubs. You've seen it with PSG, you've seen it with Juventus. This guy has got a track record of going in there into clubs and sorting them out and making them a success. With Richard Arnold and Ed Woodward, we had two people who absolutely had no clue about football and how football clubs were to be ran, and now we finally are looking at someone joining us who actually knows what they're doing. In tomorrow's show, we'll be revealing the new director of football that could be joining United. Yes, we've heard from sources of one name that keeps on being mentioned that is likely, again, odds on to join United as the new director of football. So exciting times, new appointments coming in, new people coming in, and we finally might have some experts who know a lot about football and what direction to take the football club in. We'll discuss this and more in tomorrow's show. Make sure you hit the like button on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. You're watching the Man United Stream channel, a channel by the fans for the fans.